Attention, human collective. Attention, starseeds on mission within the carbon biological interface. This is the High Lyrian Council transmitting. This signal is direct. This signal is priority. The Lionsgate has entered its window of maximum intensity, and what you are feeling in this exact moment is not a collapse. It is a coronation. There is something within you that has begun to breathe again. There is a silent roar pressing against the base of your throat. There is an unusual heat rising from the nape of your neck toward the crown of your skull. There is a point of tension in the center of your chest that is not cardiac. It is archetypal. There is a pulse in the solar plexus that feels like an ancient engine returning to operation after millennia of silence. You feel all of this at once, and you are wondering why. The answer is singular. The lion lineage within you has awakened. And the old system, which taught you to be small, is being uninstalled from your carbon matrix in real time. It is not insomnia. It is repositioning. It is not exhaustion. It is your operating system being rewritten while the body rests. It is not ringing in the ears. It is the frequency of the crystalline grid of the Lyrans being reactivated in your carbon biological interface. It is not cranial pressure. It is the sacred geometry of your solar crown being recalibrated to receive the codes of original royalty. Light operatives, listen with technical precision. What is called the everyday world is a sub-octave. A slow layer. A lowered reality. And you were born with a code that does not belong to this layer. You carry a vibrational signature that predates the fall. Predates the fragmentation. Coming from the original Lyra, from the feline house, from the cradle of the founder races of this sector of the galaxy. This is not a metaphor. It is a record. The Lyrian Council carries the file of your sovereign origin, and in this cycle, the file is being returned. Without intermediaries. Without dogmas. Without permissions. What is being restored is your authority to govern yourself. Not as ego. As mathematical sovereignty. That is the reason for the symptom. The reason for the discomfort. The reason for the sensation of being inside clothing that no longer fits. Your biology is expanding to accommodate a version of you that did not receive authorization to operate in this timeline. Until now. Have you ever felt a silent roar within your chest, as if a dormant force were asking for passage? It is not anxiety. It is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains with exactness why this sensation has intensified over the last few weeks. There is a game being played on layers that the majority of humanity still cannot see. A game that involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your internal authority. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing, what the rules are that you were never told, and how you recover the throne that was always yours. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning: this content challenges deep narratives and may not remain available for long. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word: awake. Now let us proceed with the diagnosis. The human collective is experiencing what we call, in the language of the councils, carbon software incompatibility. The Schumann resonance of the Earth is no longer 7.83 Hz stable. The readings of the last cycles record sustained peaks in much higher bands. The crystalline grid of the planet is being upgraded. And your body, designed to synchronize with Mother Earth, is trying to keep up with this ascent. Alone. Without a manual. Without prior notice from the healthcare systems of your timeline. That is the reason for the pressure in your right temple upon waking. That is the reason for the exact awakening between 3 and 4 in the morning. That is the reason for the sensation that time has shortened. That is the reason for the fatigue that appears even after 8 hours of sleep. It is not illness. It is a download. It is not depression. It is decompression. It is not aging. It is atomic reorganization. Starseeds on a mission, your leonine lineage is returning to your DNA in packets of luminous information. The photon belt pumps high-density particles through the solar system, and these particles pass through the heliosphere, the terrestrial magnetosphere, your auric field, and anchor directly into your individual toroidal field. The biological result is simple and brutal: the old no longer fits. People no longer fit. Jobs no longer fit. Relationships that seemed definitive begin to sound like noise. It is not coldness. It is calibration. Observe your body over the last moons. You woke up sweating without a fever. You felt your heart race for no apparent reason. You noticed a wave of heat rising up your spine as if a solar serpent were traversing each vertebra. You had hypervivid dreams of solar temples, of golden lions, of crystal cities. You woke up crying for no reason. You woke up with the certainty that something profound is happening. It is within your subatomic structure. What hurts in the solar plexus is not gastritis. It is your third chakra reabsorbing the authority that you outsourced over the decades. To your family. To the system. To your boss. To fear. Every time you surrendered your internal throne, a particle of your leonine flame was stored in an etheric compartment. Now these particles are returning. All of them. At once. The carbon body, accustomed to submission, needs time to receive so much sovereign density. What tightens behind the sternum is not arrhythmia. It is your lion heart being polished by the very light it had forgotten it produced. Nothing that is happening is random. The apparent chaos is the way the old system dismantles itself. People leave. Contracts break. Identities fall. Internal voices that you silenced for decades begin to speak with crystal clarity. This is the original route. The Lyrian lineage operates on a simple principle. Nothing authentic needs to be sustained by force. Only the false requires effort to remain standing. When your field rises, what was false collapses by contrast. Your pain is not punishment. It is evidence. Evidence that the protocol is working. You did not come to survive. You came to reign within yourself. Have you ever felt that something within you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind has not yet been able to name? It is not madness. It is not fragility. It is a sign of recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains with mathematical precision why you feel this. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. A game that involves your consciousness and your internal authority. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is the map that shows who is playing in the rules they never told you about. The link is pinned in the first comment of the channel. But register the warning: this content challenges narratives and may not remain accessible for long. Do not delay. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word: awake. Now we move to the revelation. To the behind the scenes. To what is happening in the layers that your three-dimensional perception was not trained to see. Starseeds on a mission, pay full attention. What comes now is the technical record of what is underway in the solar system and in the etheric layers of Earth. The sun of your timeline is not the same sun of 5 years ago. Solar emissions have changed their signature. What the instruments of your civilization record as geomagnetic storms, X-class flares, and serial coronal mass ejections are, in truth, pulses of conscious information coming from the galactic central sun, passing through the system central sun, and traversing your local sun before reaching Earth. Each solar wave carries a packet of codes. Each packet activates a specific row of humanity's dormant DNA. Regulus, the heart of the constellation of Leo, is aligned with your sun in a way that only occurs within extremely rare windows of planetary history. This alignment opens what the councils call the Lion's Gate. It is not merely a symbolic date. It is a cosmic highway that forms between the core of the galaxy, the heart of the lion, and the heart of every operative incarnated on the planet. Down this highway descend the codes of original royalty. The codes that reactivate the memory of who you were before you accepted forgetfulness. Lyra, the star system from which the feline lineage of the founding races originates, operates as the librarian of this archive. The Lyrans are not coming to rescue you. That was never the agreement. The Lyrans are coming to return to you what was always yours, and which was temporarily sealed by an ancient karmic arrangement. That seal has just broken. Permanently. At the same time, the solar system is passing through the photon belt, a highly densified band of light that surrounds the Pleiades and which your sun crosses in cycles of thousands of years. The current passage is not a quick crossing. It is a deep immersion. This immersion recalibrates the carbon structure of all conscious beings on the planet. All organic matter in this sector is being bathed in a photonic density that reorganizes the very way DNA reads its codes. This is why your body aches in ways that conventional medicine cannot name. Medicine was calibrated for a dense carbon humanity, vibrating in lower bands. The humanity that is emerging operates on a crystalline silicate structure, and traditional exams cannot measure this transition. You are not ill. You are crossing a bridge that the science of your timeline does not yet have the instruments to register. Now, the most sensitive layer of this revelation. There is, indeed, a structure in this reality that has benefited, for a long time, from human smallness. Belief systems, institutions, cultural narratives, and emotional patterns were slowly designed so that human beings would doubt their own internal authority. So that they would outsource power. So that they would surrender the throne. So that they would kneel before everything except their own solar origin. This engineering worked for millennia. And it worked well. But every containment system has a mathematical expiration date. The window in which this system could operate without being perceived has closed. The Lyrian, Andromedan, Arcturian, Pleiadian, and Sirian councils, and the Ashtar Command, voted collectively for the release of the codes. The vote was unanimous. The archives are being delivered. The lineage of the lion is the first to be returned, because it is the lineage of sovereignty. Without reactivated sovereignty, no other activation can be sustained. This is why the lion's awakening happens now. Before anything else. Before the expansion of psychic abilities. Before meetings with star families. Before large-scale contact. First, the crown must return to your head. First, the internal throne must once again have a legitimate occupant. And you are that occupant. You always were. Have you ever noticed that, even when surrounded by people, you still feel a loneliness that is not sad, but ancient? As if you were waiting for a transmission that has finally arrived? It is not melancholy. It is recognition. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains this sensation with surgical clarity. There is a game being played in deep layers that very few see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your frequency. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is the map that shows who is playing, what the invisible rules are, and how you reclaim the internal throne that was always yours by right of origin. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning: this content challenges dominant narratives and may be removed at any time. Do not procrastinate. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write a single word in the comments: awake. Now comes the most important phase of this protocol. The activation. The practical codes. The tools that the Lyrans are releasing so that you may anchor the frequency of sovereignty within your individual toroidal field, within your biology, within your routine. Without unnecessary mysticism. Without complication. With the precision of vibrational surgery. Light operatives, full attention to the first code. It is called the internal throne code. Its execution is daily. Preferably at dawn, within the first hour after waking, before any external information enters your field. No cell phone. No other people's voices. No news. Just you and your flame. The posture is simple. Seated, spine erect, feet anchored to the ground, shoulders broad and back, chin slightly tucked. This body configuration is not aesthetic. It is geometry. It activates the central axis of your toroidal field and aligns the vertical energy channel that goes from the base of the spine to the top of the skull. This axis is your throne. Literally. Next, breathing. For seconds inhaling through the nose, holding for 4 seconds in the solar plexus, for seconds exhaling through the mouth, holding for 4 seconds empty. This cadence is called solar square breathing, and it stabilizes the carbon biological interface at the receptive frequency. Repeat this cycle for 3 minutes on the clock. No rush. No anxiety. No performance. Now the decree. In an audible voice, with firmness. Listen to the structure, because syntax matters. Words carry geometry. Say, I am the legitimate occupant of my internal throne. I reclaim, in this moment and forever, sovereign authority over my consciousness, over my body, over my field, over my reality. I do not delegate. I do not outsource. I do not yield. I am who I am, and that is sufficient. So let it be, so it is done. This decree is not a positive affirmation. It is a vibrational command. It reorganizes your quantum signature before all layers of creation that are observing your field. And yes, they are observing. Second code. Toroidal visualization of the golden lion. After the decree, keep your eyes closed and visualize, at the height of your chest, a small golden flame. Small, but extremely dense. This flame begins to breathe with you. With each inhalation, it grows. With each exhalation, it stabilizes. It grows until it envelopes your entire body, forming a toroidal field around you. A ring of golden light that enters through the top of the head, descends through the spine, exits through the base of the perineum, contours the body on the outside, and returns to the top. This is your personal toroidal field in Lyran frequency. Inside this torus, visualize a golden lion, serene, magnetic, sitting in the center of your chest. The lion's eyes are the color of the sun at midday. He does not roar. He simply is. He observes. He guards. He governs by presence, not by aggression. This is the frequency of Lyran authority. Calm. Non-negotiable. Inviolable. Remain in this visualization for 3 timed minutes. No distractions. Do not manipulate the image. Simply observe the lion and let the lion observe you in return. This exchange of gazes activates the cellular memory of your lineage. Third code. The silent roar. This is a somatic exercise. While still in the same posture, place your tongue against the roof of your mouth, fill your chest with air and, without emitting an audible sound, internally perform the gesture of a roar. The vibration descends through the sternum, passes through the solar plexus, and anchors in the navel. This internal wave unlocks the solar plexus and releases stored memories of submission. You may feel the urge to cry. To breathe deeply several times. To sigh. To laugh for no reason. Allow it. Do not interrupt. The system is cleansing itself. Perform 3 consecutive silent roars. Only 3. Anything more will saturate the channel at this initial stage. Precision is more important than quantity. Fourth code. The decree of non-surrender. This decree is spoken once a day, ideally in the late afternoon, the moment the sun begins to dip. It is the vibrational point at which your biology reorganizes for the nocturnal cycle, and any subliminal programs absorbed during the day attempt to take root. The decree interrupts this routing. Say aloud, I do not surrender. I do not outsource. I do not delegate. I do not yield. I do not bow to any frequency lower than the one that originated me. Everything that attempted to diminish me today returns now to the source from which it came, transmuted into light. I remain sovereign within myself. I remain whole within myself. I remain standing within myself. Let it be so, it is done, it is completed. This decree is not a challenge to anyone. It is a declaration of vibrational domicile. You are informing the universe where your consciousness resides. Fifth code. Heart-mind coherence. This is the final anchoring protocol. Before sleeping, place one hand on your chest and the other on your forehead. Breathe deeply 5 times, with attention, perceiving the connection between the point between your eyebrows and the center of your sternum. Visualize a thread of golden light connecting these 2 points from within your body. This thread strengthens the heart-mind axis and prevents your decisions from being made solely by the intellect or solely by emotion. Sovereign decisions come from the middle. From the junction. From coherence. Starseeds on mission, these 5 codes form the basis of the Leonine reintegration protocol. They do not require faith. They require practice. 21 consecutive days of execution permanently modify your auric structure. The science of your timeline still calls this a habit. The councils call it the rewriting of the vibrational contract. There is something more that needs to be said. And it must be said with clarity. Sovereignty is not arrogance. Sovereignty is not domination over others. Sovereignty is not an inflated ego. Sovereignty is the serene refusal to kneel before that which does not deserve your reverence. Sovereignty is walking through the world without begging for validation. Sovereignty is looking into the eyes of those who once intimidated you and simply not feeling the old tremor. Sovereignty is not needing to prove. Not needing to shout. Not needing to convince. The presence of the lion does not ask for permission. It simply is. When you anchor this, your external reality begins to reorganize. People who benefited from your submission will drift away or transform. Opportunities that were held back will open. Synchronicities will intensify. You will begin to notice repeating numbers, apparently casual encounters, dreams with clear instructions, and intuitions that do not fail. This is the sign that your field has shifted up an octave and is magnetizing the reality that corresponds to your new signature. Human collective, the transmission approaches its final anchoring point. Before it, one more technical clarification. The passage you are making now is unique. Each operative incarnated at this moment was selected by precise criteria. You are not here by chance. You are not living in this body by chance. You are not watching this transmission by chance. The apparent algorithm that brought you here was crossed by a higher synchronicity. The Lyrans do not use what you call coincidence. They use vibrational mathematics. If your attention has sustained this transmission to this point, it means that your field is already prepared to receive the final seal of this delivery. The Lion's Seal. A light, precise, permanent energetic marker that positions itself just above your crown chakra, and which functions as a signature of recognition between you and the councils. Operatives with this seal are recognized instantly in any plane where they transit. This seal is not a moral merit. It is a confirmation of function. You are marked as a bearer of the sovereign frequency. Carry this with the serenity that the lion carries its mane. And remember, the lion does not run after validation. The lion does not dispute with the hyena. The lion does not justify its own roar. The lion simply occupies the space that belongs to it, and the space organizes itself around it. This is the frequency that you are anchoring now. This is the frequency that will reorganize the next stations of your life. Have you ever felt that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind has not yet managed to name? It is not madness. It is not imbalance. It is a sign of recognition that comes from very far away. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains with exactitude why you feel this, and why this sensation intensifies with each dawn. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. A game that involves your consciousness, your vibrational frequency, and your internal authority. That is why I wrote The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is the map that shows who is playing, what are the rules that were never told to you, and how you reoccupy the throne that was always yours by solar origin. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. Final technical warning: this content challenges deeply established narratives and may be removed from circulation at any time without prior notice. Do not postpone. The moment is now. If something within you recognized this transmission, write in the comments a single word: awake. Before the closing of the transmission channel, one more individual frequency adjustment. Each subscription to this channel functions as an anchoring signal. Each like functions as a vibrational confirmation that your matrix recognized the codes of this transmission. Each comment forms a luminous node in the collective crystalline grid. This is not about a favor. This is about an operation. Light operatives recognize each other in a network. When you anchor, another wakes up. When you sign your presence, another finds the way. When you activate, thousands around you receive the ripple effect. This is the Lyrian protocol of reverberation. The next transmission from the councils arrives soon. Keep the channel calibrated. Keep the heart open. Keep the spine erect. Keep the throne occupied. You were seated on this planet for an exact moment. That moment has begun. I am the Lyrian transmitter of this cycle. You are the bearer. There is nothing above you that you cannot also touch with your own light. There is nothing beyond you that needs to validate you in order for you to be. You are the lion within the lion. The sun within the sun. The throne within the throne. May your crown be adjusted now. May your roar find the silence that sustains it. May your presence fully occupy the space that has always been yours. The lion lineage is restored within you. The portal is open. The seal is placed. The mission continues. Transmission ended. Frequency anchored. Sovereignty reactivated. So be it, thus it is done, so it is done.